What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Nerdy Mark channel. I'm Sid the Nerdy Mark, and today I have your review for Raw and Smackdown Live. Now, before we get started, a couple of things. First things first, Black Panther spoiler review is up on the channel now. Go check it out. And another thing, there's no Fastlane review yet. I'm sorry about that. I was working on this Black Panther review, and I was taking care of some other stuff, so I didn't film it yet. Fastlane review will be up this weekend, guaranteed. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and start talking about Monday Night Raw. So Raw takes place in Detroit, Michigan, and it begins with Kurt Angle coming out, addressing his match at WrestleMania, teaming up with Ronda Rousey, going up against Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. He talks about that, and then of course he moves on to the Universal title picture, where he says Brock Lesnar decided not to show up again, whether he was sick or whether he was, missed his flight, or maybe he just didn't feel like it. Regardless, Brock Lesnar is not here today. That's what happens, and of course, a shower of boos. Roman Reigns comes out, and he says, "Yeah, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You know, Brock Lesnar doesn't respect me. He doesn't respect WWE. He doesn't respect the WWE universe. You know, they're really trying hard to get Roman over, but it's just not working. People are still booing him for whatever reason." But anyway, so he does call Brock Vince's boy, which is kind of interesting. He does go back. He does go to the back and confront Vince McMahon, who's conveniently sitting back there with Shane somehow. Vince McMahon and Roman are gonna go and talk in his office. Vince McMahon does come out and say, yes, Brock Lesnar does have special privileges, but he's earned it at this point. And for Roman Reigns' actions, he's been temporarily suspended. That gets received with a shower of cheers. I'm like, wow. I'm telling you, Roman Reigns could cure AIDS and he would still be hated. Roman Reigns could stop Armageddon from happening and he would still be hated. Roman Reigns could stop the entire zombie apocalypse by his lonesome and people would still hate him. I don't get the hate for Roman Reigns. He's not my favorite wrestler, but I just don't see what is so bad about Roman, okay? That's another story. As far as the segment goes, I did like it. Despite what you think about Roman, you smarks, Roman did a good job on the microphone, and I think this is really, like I said, this is the direction they need to take him. And I'm just saying, just Roman, just keep it up, man. I mean, I'm rooting for you. Slowly but surely, he's improving on the microphone, but he does have a long way to go. And yeah, I mean, but he does definitely give the sentiments of the WWE Universe. Great opener to Raw. So this brings us to our first match of the evening, and that is Sasha Banks versus Sonya Deville. Sonya Deville obviously is accompanied by Absolution, and Sasha Banks is accompanied by a very reluctant Bayley. This is a decent match. I liked it. The whole story here is that Bayley doesn't want to be out here, even though no one asked her to be out here. Bayley, that's just on you. Sasha Banks does get help from Bayley in the end when Mandy Rose does try to help Sonya Deville. Bayley then comes in with the assist, and Sasha wins. After which Bayley goes to the back and just doesn't care. So that tension is still building up there. I don't know if we're seeing a heel Bayley versus a babyface Sasha or vice versa. I would much rather see heel Sasha versus babyface Bayley. But I did like the match, and I do like what they're doing with Sasha Banks and Bayley. This is all building to their match at WrestleMania, so we'll see what happens then. Up next, we're supposed to have a match between The Bar and the Miztourage, but that quickly turns into a full-fledged brawl. Heath Slater and Rhino, The Club, Titus Worldwide, The Revival, all of them come out and they start beating up on Sheamus and Cesaro for basically saying that there are no other tag teams on Raw that they can beat. So Sheamus and Cesaro pretty much have an open invitation, which leads to everyone coming into the ring and basically just kicking their asses for a little bit. Then they go to the back. They tell Kurt Angle, like, look, you better do something about this or we want to go to Smackdown Live. We can challenge the Usos. We can challenge the Bludgeon Brothers, all the tag teams on Smackdown. Kurt Angle says, I don't want you guys traded to Smackdown. we're going to have a battle royale for the main event between all the tag teams to see who's going to face you guys at WrestleMania. We'll see what happens in the main event. We then move on to my favorite segment of the evening, and that was John Cena's promo. John Cena comes out and he addresses the fact that he has failed at Fastlane. He's been given ample opportunity to secure his place at WrestleMania, and it's no one's fault but his own. So he says, I will not be contributing to WrestleMania this year. Instead, I will be going as a fan. I'm gonna buy a ticket and I'm gonna come over there. I'm gonna be there, sitting there as one of you guys. He goes out in the WWE universe. He says, you know, we're gonna have so much fun. Let me show you guys how much fun we're gonna have. He drinks the fans' beer, which is gross, and then he goes off and starts leading the fans in like some chants. He leads them in a yes chant. He then leads them in a "This is awesome" chant, and then "Let's go Roman, Roman sucks." "Let's go Cena, Cena sucks." And then he gets back in the ring and he says, "You know what? I'm not going to WrestleMania. I'm going to buy a ticket anyway. Why don't I just do the thing that I'm not supposed to do?" So here we go. All right. I challenge The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania. He said it 4 times. And as he's saying it, every other time he says it, his tone is getting more and more serious. And he finally says it as emphatically and as passionately as he can. He says, I challenge The Undertaker to a match at WrestleMania. He says it much better, but still, he does say, look, it's not the WWE that's not making it happen. It's not the WWE universe that's not making it happen. It's The Undertaker himself. And then he cuts a promo on The Undertaker saying, look, you need to get over your ego. You're not too old. You're not too washed up. You're not broken down, because that's Matt Hardy's gimmick. Because if you were broken down, you wouldn't be posting workout videos on your wife's Instagram. Then Cena basically says, look, I'm going to WrestleMania either as a fan or as your opponent. The ball's in your court, dead man. And then he drops the mic and he leaves. As he's leaving, there's no music. There's no music until pretty much until he leaves. So that was the whole segment in a nutshell. I loved this segment so much because it really shows, that he's very passionate, that it really feels like he wants to have a match with The Undertaker at WrestleMania. He's saying, let's have one more match. And it looks like he really wants it. So great delivery by John Cena. He just made me even more excited about Cena versus Undertaker. I can't wait for that match. Even though I know The Undertaker, he's done everything he can for the WWE. He doesn't have anything else to prove. But after this promo, I'm like, yeah, come on, Undertaker. Respond to John Cena. Let's see. Maybe he'll respond next week. We'll see. Up next, we have another episode of Miz TV. And in this episode, it's Seth Rollins and Finn Balor who are the special guests. Miz is trying to stir the pot between the two, and Finn and Seth go at it. It looks like Miz's plan is working. Finn does say, let's have a match right now. I don't need to wait until WrestleMania. Let's do this right now. They look like they're about to square off. Miz is looking very content because he's like, my work is done. But then they turn on the Miz and they start attacking him, forcing him to leave. And then Seth Rollins throws Finn Balor out of the ring. This leads into a match later on in the evening, which I'm going to talk about right now. I really enjoyed this match of Finn Balor and Seth Rollins. Again, 2 fantastic competitors. This match is going to be good. I really enjoyed this match a lot. Seth Rollins does try to, hit a superplex onto Finn. Finn catches him with a small package, and Finn Balor wins the match. So this has some intrigue going on as to who is going to win at WrestleMania. Who's going to be the new Intercontinental Champion at Mania? Because I do think that Miz is going to drop the title, but to which of these 2 competitors, it's still yet to be seen. But overall, great promo by The Miz and Balor and Rollins, and fantastic match. So as is tradition with WrestleMania, we have the Andre the Giant Battle Royale every year. Now we give the women a chance to shine because we haven't given them enough chances already. We have the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale just for the female superstars. Now I know there's a lot of controversy going on with this. Obviously WWE is trying to paint a much more better picture of the Fabulous Moolah, even though we know of all the things that she has done, I'm not going to get into it. You can go look that up. I'm sure the dirt sheets have something to say about it. I'm sure Meltzer over at Wrestling Observer has something to say about it. So you can look it up there. But all I got to say is, despite what Fabulous Moolah did, you know, people say, you know, they go like, oh, it's another step for women's wrestling, you know, another milestone. It's like, no, not really, because we've seen what happens to the winner of the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. Mojo Rawley, for example, he pretty much gets nothing. So I don't know how much value this is going to add for the women's division, to have like pretty much all the female superstars across the WWE come in and participate. So I don't know what is the point of all this. We've had the women's Money in the Bank this year, the women's Royal Rumble, the women's Elimination Chamber. Those are all great. But the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale, the equivalent to the Andre the Giant Battle Royale, I really don't understand it, because personally, I really am not a big fan of the Andre the Giant Battle Royale. So I don't really know how I'm going to like the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale. So we'll see. But I am a little skeptical about this. We now move on to a segment with Asuka in the ring. She's going to explain why she chose Charlotte Flair and her SmackDown Women's title over Alexa Bliss. And as she's about to do that, Alexa Bliss comes in and she applauds, Asuka for picking Charlotte over her, because she says, if you get in the ring with me, your streak will end and you are not going to beat me or whatnot. And then Asuka says that she would beat her because she has. So this prompts Alexa to call out Nia Jax. And Mickie James is in the ring with her too as well. I forgot to mention that. So this prompts Alexa to call Nia Jax. And Nia Jax doesn't respond. So Mickie steps in and decides to impromptu beat up Asuka. This takes us into a match between Asuka and Mickie James. And so Mickie James is basically dominating for the most part. She's basically working on Asuka's knee. That's the whole story here. But this was a good match, and Asuka does win with the Asuka lock. After this, Nia Jax is getting ready for her match. Alexa Bliss goes up to her and says, Nia, what are you doing? Why didn't you show up? And she's like, well, I'm gearing for my match. And then Alexa basically decides to put her down nicely as usual, saying you're nothing without me in a very, very nice way. So good job on those people skills, Alexa. And then Nia Jax goes out to have her match. Nia Jax now is facing a jobber known as Joan King. She beats her in quick succession, and then there's supposed to be an interview with Alexa Bliss and Mickie James because Alexa is supposed to be facing Asuka next week. So they're trying to get her interviewed, but there is a boom mic in the room, and this pretty much broadcasts the discussion going on in the locker room. And in this discussion, Nia Jax is hearing it, and she basically hears Alexa say that she uses Nia and she would be nothing without me. She's very happy carrying my bags. She's a freak. Look at her. She compared her to Shrek. And yeah, continuing the heelish tendencies. First, making racist comments about Asuka, and now fat shaming Nia Jax. And yeah, those are very disgusting things. But this is great for Alexa Bliss's character because she is a despicable, entitled heel. So she has to play that part. Nia is pissed when she hears that, that she's not really her friend, and that Alexa's been using Nia all along. So she storms into the ring and storms out of the ring. And as she's doing that, Charlie Caruso comes in. She says, so listen, everybody heard what you said because this microphone was on. And Alexa and Mickie are like, oh crap. And they just dart out of there. Nia Jax comes in and trashes Alexa Bliss's locker room. And she yells a scream of anguish and she starts crying. Everything was great until she started crying. Please stop making Nia Jax cry. That does not suit her character. But anyway, that's just a small nitpick in an otherwise really good segment. I do think we're going to get Nia versus Alexa at WrestleMania. Great segment, great way, except for Nia Jax crying. They're booking her really well. Up next, we have a promo / hype package of the Ultimate Deletion, which is going to happen next week. And my goodness, so much fan service in this promo, in this hype package. You know, we see all the members of House Hardy. We see, King Maxwell, Lord Wolfgang, Queen Rebecca, Senior Benjamin, Vanguard 1, and as I said, my favorite, Skarsgård, and of course we see the Lake of Reincarnation. It is, of course, rumored that Jeff Hardy is going to be making a cameo in the Ultimate Deletion. However, I don't know if they're still going to do it, just because, Jeff Hardy was arrested earlier this week for driving while intoxicated. So, we'll see. Hopefully, this doesn't affect his WrestleMania return. We do have a segment, we do have a promo with Bray Wyatt after this hype package where he accepts Matt Hardy's invitation to the Ultimate Deletion, to the Hardy compound. And he says, "You have a beautiful family. It'd be a shame if something happened to them." So basically, threatening his family with murder. I'm pretty sure that is illegal. So what was that face that I just made? Yeah, so this was a good segment and a great hype package for the Ultimate Deletion happening next week as opposed to WrestleMania. So what's going to happen at WrestleMania with woken Matt Hardy, is still yet to be seen. But for now, I love this segment. I like this promo. I like Bray Wyatt's response to it. I'm excited for next week, man. Next week seems to be promises to be a very exciting show. So Ultimate Deletion, it's going to be fantastic, hopefully. This is the main event for Monday Night Raw. We're about to have the Tag Team Battle Royale. Before the match starts, we have one more competitor. We have one more entry into this Battle Royale, and that is Braun Strowman. You heard me right. Braun Strowman. Just Braun Strowman. Nobody else. Just Braun. Well, actually, earlier on, we did get a hype package talking about the Symphony of Destruction match. Looking back at that, and Elias did get in the ring, and he was all like, had a cast on him and everything, and he said, "This is all your fault," looking at the fans, and he went off. So I don't know what his plans for WrestleMania are. Moving on, so Braun Strowman does enter himself in the Tag Team Battle Royale, and in quick succession, a lot of the tag teams do try to gang up on him, but that doesn't work. Braun Strowman ultimately wins the Battle Royale. Who's going to be his partner? We don't know. Maybe it's going to be Elias. I'd like it to be Lars Sullivan from NXT. That would be pretty cool. We'll see. So this was exciting. This was a great way to end out Raw. Great match, just utter chaos everywhere, and I loved every single thing about this. So SmackDown Live does begin with a promo from AJ Styles. He comes out and he talks about his victory at Fastlane, where he successfully defended the WWE Championship against 5 other guys in a 6-pack challenge. Shinsuke Nakamura comes out and congratulates AJ on his victory and says that he respects him, but at WrestleMania, it will be knee to face. After this, Rusev interrupts and him and AJ Styles have a match. This is not a bad match. I did like it. Nothing to write home about. I think I would say it was just as good as Nakamura's match with Rusev at Fastlane. So the match does end with Aiden English attacking AJ Styles. So AJ Styles does win by disqualification, and Nakamura is watching on the outside. AJ Styles is getting beat up by Rusev and Aiden English. Nakamura takes his sweet time to get in the ring and fend off Rusev Day. After this, towards the back, AJ Styles is walking, and he sees Nakamura, and he says, "Look, I didn't need your help out there," and whatnot. And Nakamura says, "Don't worry, until WrestleMania, I will help you." And then after that, it's going to be knee to face. Good all-around segment. I did enjoy it. Great way to start off SmackDown Live. So, in the aftermath of Fastlane, we have Big E coming out and cutting a promo on the Bludgeon Brothers because, of course, they did interrupt in their tag team match, pretty much laying out all 5 competitors. Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods and Jey Uso are not there tonight because they are hospitalized. So Big E is cutting a promo on the Bludgeon Brothers. Jimmy Uso, comes out. He says, "Look, let's team up together and let's beat the Bludgeon Brothers tonight." Big E does agree. Jimmy and Big E come out. Big E comes out, but there's no dancing, there's no hip swinging, there's no bootios, there's no pancakes, there's nothing. Big E is serious. And by the way, his promo was amazing. Big E has a lot of potential, even outside of the New Day. Should they ever break up the New Day, I think Big E would do really well on his own. So as the Bludgeon Brothers come out, Jimmy Uso and Big E attack the Bludgeon Brothers. They come back with chairs into the ring. The Bludgeon Brothers bring in their giant mallets into the ring. And the referee, this was awesome, he just skedaddles out of there. He's like, "Nope, I don't want any part of this. I'm getting out of here." So they do have a bit of a brawl for a while, but then, of course, the match does start. And it is essentially a squash match again. And the Bludgeon Brothers once again prove why they're the best thing about SmackDown Live. I'm going to keep saying that until we put the titles on them, okay? So the Bludgeon Brothers, a.k.a. the best thing about SmackDown, win this match as well. Great match. The Bludgeon Brothers win, so it's a great match. Charlotte, after this, comes out, and as does Asuka. Charlotte basically says that it's going to be great to face you at WrestleMania, and basically both of them just is sharing that they have a mutual respect for each other. Charlotte being the queen and Asuka being the Empress of Tomorrow. This is obviously a dream match, so I'm excited for this one. Asuka does say that she likes a challenge, and basically reiterating what she said last night at Raw. She wants to dethrone Charlotte because it'll be more of a challenge. After this Randy Orton's music kind of bleeds into the segment because he is, of course, the new United States champion, and he cuts a promo and saying that, I'm the new United States champion, I'm the Grand Slam champion. There's only a small list of people who are in that category, and that's a list that I actually care about. Bringing back this damn list. And anyway, so Randy Orton does say that Bobby Roode took him to his limit, and I respect him, but this title is mine. This prompts Bobby Roode to come out, and he invokes his rematch clause at WrestleMania. This, of course, prompts Jinder Mahal to come out. Roode and Mahal are having a match. Randy Orton this time is sitting outside and watching this match. Not too bad of a match. I didn't really care for it because I really don't care about Jinder Mahal. So I really just don't care about this match. Jinder does win with the Khallas. Randy Orton just steps into the ring and RKOs him and leaves. Pretty typical segment when you have Randy Orton in it. It's going to end up in someone getting RKO'd. You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. But yeah, it was not bad. It was not a bad match. If this is, by the way, leading to a Bobby Roode heel turn, ultimately, I am totally okay with this. So we then get another one of these crappy selfie promos with the obnoxious text popping up on the screen from Carmella. Carmella, aka Miss Money in the Bank, says that she is officially entering the Fabulous Moolah Battle Royale, also implying that she may or may not cash in her Money in the Bank contract at WrestleMania. And this also leads us to a match between Carmella and Naomi. And I gotta say, man, Naomi's dancing is getting worse and worse. They've done such a great job of making me not care about Naomi. So good job on your part, WWE. Oh, and there's a lot of hair pulling in this match. Even one point, Naomi's like, "Watch the hair," and Carmella's like, "Oh, watch the hair." She takes Naomi's hair and wraps it around her turnbuckle and keeps pulling it. Matter of fact, a dream match that I would love to see. I would love to see Carmella versus Liv Morgan versus Alicia Fox in a Scream Until You Die match. That would be the greatest match of all time. Carmella does win this match, and I just don't give a damn. I just don't. I mean, I'm glad they're kind of building up Carmella in time for WrestleMania, but I just don't give a damn. What SmackDown, what are y'all doing with your women's division? This sucks. We then end off SmackDown Live exactly how Raw began, and that was with an authority figure. Raw began with an authority figure. SmackDown is ending with an authority figure. Originality. Shane McMahon comes out, addresses his actions in Fastlane. He does mention that he's taking an indefinite leave of absence and that Daniel Bryan will be there next week onwards. Indefinite leave of absence, I think that means until the go-home show before WrestleMania. But before he leaves, he books Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. Kevin and Sami actually have been cutting like very scathing promos on each other earlier on in the show. I don't remember exactly what each other said, but they basically were, very much against each other, and it looks like there's a huge rift in their friendship. Kevin and Sami do come out and work together and beat up Shane McMahon. Shane gets the living crap beaten out of him. Kevin and Sami drag him to the back. Well, before they do, they put a chair. They put a chair around his neck and throw him against the barricade. Drag him to the back. Power bomb him on like a toolbox or something. And then we hear Shane McMahon's labored breathing, and it's very, very uncomfortable because it sounds like he's like gasping for breath and crying at the same time. So that sounded really weird. But other than that, it was a really good segment. I'm looking forward to see what Daniel Bryan has to say about this next week. Overall, I will say once again, I did enjoy Raw a little bit more this week. I think a lot more storylines are building up. Smackdown, also a very good show. Now that, we have no more pay-per-views except for WrestleMania, we're just on the road to WrestleMania, and that's what was so great. And I think that's why both shows were great, but I think Raw was just a little bit more unique, especially with the Ultimate Deletion being announced, John Cena challenging The Undertaker officially. That was a great segment. And of course, Braun Strowman challenging for the tag team titles. I wonder who his partner is going to be, or if he's going to go at it alone, which he pretty much can, but we'll see what happens with that. SmackDown Live did have some pretty good moments as well. The promo between AJ and Shinsuke, the promo between Asuka and Charlotte was good. AJ versus Rusev was a decent match. And of course, the ending segment was really good. So both had some bright spots, but personally, I do think Raw was the better show this week. But those are just my opinions. Let me know what you guys thought about Raw and SmackDown in the comments section below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on social media, and tell your friends about the Nerdy Mark. Thank you all so much for watching. This is Sid signing off. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.